Welcome back to Normal Baseball. Today we are continuing our 2023 Will Be series, our team projections for each team. Today we got the Colorado Rockies. Let's do it. What's going on? Welcome back to Normal Baseball. Today, we are going to be talking about the Colorado Rockies in our 2023 Will Be series, where we say how each team will be in the 2023 season. We did a power ranking last week. We did power rankings, and we based each team from a scale of 1 to 10 on 7 different things. Lineup, bench, defense, rotation, bullpen, coaching, and energy. And we had the Rockies as the second worst team in baseball, 29th out of 30. And yeah, we're going to be talking about them today. We're going to go piece by piece and talk about what they got and what to look forward to this season from them.
Yeah, for sure.
I just want to say, looking back, I think they might be a little too low by just a couple rankings. But it is what it is. This is just kind of how it worked.
Hey, the numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
We put them as the second worst team in baseball, coming in at 29th on our power rankings. So let's just jump right into it. Their lineup, we averaged it out. We gave their lineup a 6.2 out of 10. 6.2
out of 10. Their lineup this year, I'll read it 1 through 9. First and foremost, before I say this is all based off Fangraph projections. And also in this lineup, Randal Grichuk is not there, although he probably will be joining the team and playing
when he recovers
very soon. Yeah. So, the lineup is looking like Jonathan Daza in center field, Kris Bryant in left field, Ryan McMahon at third base, CJ Cron at first base, Charlie Blackmon in right field, Brendan Rodgers at second base, Sean Bouchard at DH, Elias Diaz at catcher, and Ezequiel Tovar at shortstop. So that's what their lineup's looking like. I like a couple of names in this lineup. I really do. I like Kris Bryant, obviously. Yeah. He barely played last year, but I don't think that's anything... I don't think that means he's a bad player now. I think he will come back, and I think he will be very good.
Agreed. Hard not to love guys like Ryan McMahon and CJ Cron locking down the corners of your infield.
I want to talk about CJ Cron because I think he is going to have an absolute... I wrote on my sheet, CJ Cron masterclass.
That's true.
I think that's what this season will be for him. So yeah. I think this is going to be a very good year for CJ Cron.
He's one of the more underrated hitters in this league today, which is weird to say because CJ Cron can just absolutely mash the ball. Do you think that he'll get a 30 homer season this year?
Oh yeah, he's so underrated. Like you said, he had 29 homers last year in 150 games. His average did take a hit. In 2021 he hit 281. And last year he hit 257. So if he can get that average back up with the maintaining the power, which he definitely can do, he'll definitely have over 30 home run season. Last year he had 102 RBIs on a Rockies team that was not...
That could not win a game if they tried.
Yeah, was not a good team. Last year the Rockies scored... They
scored 698 runs.
You got to it just before I did. Last year, the Rockies scored 698 runs, and he drove in 102 of those. So, I think he's looking to have a good year, and I think he will. So, I'm high on CJ Cron this year, yeah. And I think he is the highlight of their lineup, as much as I would love to say that Kris Bryant is, or even Ryan McMahon. I think CJ Cron's going to be a big part of their lineup this year.
I can do the exact same thing of what you just did with Ryan McMahon, who I am going to be a very big fan of. He has always been, in my opinion, one of the more fully offensive-minded only third baseman, whereas the top 5 third baseman in the league. We definitely talk about them more because they can do both at an elite level. Ryan McMahon, much more centered around offense only. He had another 20-homer season last season, back-to-back for him. I do think that number will go even up higher now with the pitch clock and pitchers having less time to really think about how they want to try and approach him and try to get around him, because he is, like, I think their biggest bat in the lineup, especially since he's a lefty.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't really talk with Nolan Arenado in my mouth. I like the argument for Ryan McMahon. I like the argument for Ryan McMahon. I'm a little higher on CJ Cron, but I think the top three in their lineup this year are definitely going to be Chris Bryant, Ryan McMahon, and CJ Cron, no matter which way you look at it. I think Jonathan Daza is going to be pretty good too. I wouldn't put it past them. Charlie Blackmon is still proved to be a good player last year.
Yep,
he's just he exists. And then you got a couple of kind of young guy, Ezekiel Tovar, 21, playing shortstop for you this year. Get a young guy in there, you might as well. He's the youngest guy on the team by a lot, I'd say, by 5 years. I'm interested to just see how this team plays, and obviously they're going to be in Coors Field, so their bats will probably be good, and their numbers will probably be good.
Ezekiel Tovar, a 21-year-old kid who is going to play shortstop more than likely for a good portion of the season, since the Rockies don't really have anything to compete for. Last season, he hit .212 with just in 9 games and 1 homer. I think he's going to be a very good player. Definitely keep an eye out for him, because there's something there that I think he can do. Because I think he can take the biggest offensive step forward out of any of the rookies in these bottom 10, 15 teams. I think that he can take the biggest offensive step forward.
Fair. Yeah. So that's their lineup.
Yeah.
We kind of just, talked about their lineup. I think it's going to be a good lineup. I think 6.2 fits it because they have good bats, but then the rest of the lineup is very wishy-washy. Like, could be, maybe. Maybe a little bit too low, but not horrible. So,
are we allowed to give love to Brendan Rodgers on this podcast? Can we?
Why not?
Because I like him a lot. He put up the most quiet 4.3 WAR season of all time. Honestly, just missed that 800 OPS mark and just under that 100 OPS plus mark. But he's a very, very solid player. Can really lock it down when it comes to the second base position. Underrated. Definitely keep your eye on him.
I like it. Sorry, I'm gonna hold up Nolan.
Oh, you're showing the second highest paid player by the Rockies this season?
Yes, I wanted to remind. I have Nolan Arenado on my hand because I wanted to remind Rockies fans
that they're paying $16 million of a salary.
I wanted to remind Rockies fans and baseball fans out there that the Rockies are paying Nolan Arenado $16 million this season, and the Cardinals only owe him how much is the 19 million.
Yeah.
They are paying almost as much as the Cardinals are for Nolan Arenado this season, and he's not even on their team. So I'm gonna have Nolan on my palm for this entire podcast, or this entire will be.
That's fair.
Because
Nolan.
At random points I'm just gonna, because
you'll never know what it's.
You need to be reminded of Nolan Arenado.
True.
The fact that the Rockies are paying Nolan Arenado
to not play for them
is absolutely insane.
He's second highest paid player on the Rockies as of today.
So just a little reminder for everyone. But yeah, that's their lineup. So 6.2 out of 10.
6.2.
Moving on to their bench, we gave their bench a 5 out of 10. Which, looking at it, I think is very fair.
Yeah, very middle of the road.
They have a catch. Again, this is all based on Fangraphs. They have a catcher, Brian Serven, who was drafted in 2016. Has barely played in the majors. Still has all 3 of his options. Oh God, I don't even want to begin to say that first name. Ulysses Montero. who was a corner infielder.
Let's call him Mr. M. Make it easy.
Montero. Harold Castro is a non-roster invitee to spring training, so maybe he'll get in there.
Yeah,
that would be interesting to see.
That'd be cool.
And Nolan Jones, who they got from the Guardians, in November of last year.
Guardians fans, they were acting like you just took the heart straight out of their entire organization. Did not know that people were that high on Nolan Jones. But it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see how much people really like him, believe in him, and think that he's going to do great.
Yeah, they got rid of a 21-year-old infielder, Juan Burrito, to get Nolan Jones. And I believe what the Guardians said was their biggest problem with him was his strikeout rate. So I'm excited to see Nolan Jones play a lot in the majors this season. So I'm hoping that he can get up from the bench piece and become a lineup guy. The only issue is that there's not really many spots they could put him in this lineup except for maybe DH and like splitting time at a position with someone. So
I will admit he did strike out a lot.
He did. So we'll see. We'll see how that works this season. So that's their bench. Not much to it. 5 out of 10. It's a very middle of the road bench, especially if Harold Castro. We're assuming he's probably going to be there, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Moving on to their rotation. Or, no, their defense. Defense. Their defense, we gave them a 5.9 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Care to explain a little on that, Lewis?
Ryan McMahon he has a cannon of an arm, just not that good of a glove. Chris Bryant in left field, no going wrong with that. Charlie Blackmon on the other corner.
Well, Chris Bryant still has some getting used to in left field. I mean, he was good in left field, but especially because he barely played last year.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think there's no.
I think he'll be fine. I just don't think there's going to be anything like above, like well above.
Oh no, we're not going to see him competing for like a Gold Glove. No. And I do think Charlie Blackmon in the other corner. He plays great defense. We all know who he is in his 10-year time as a major league player. And I think one thing that I really kept an eye on was Brendan Rodgers. As I mentioned before, he is just a solid baseball player all around, and his defense is a very good portion of that, which means a lot to him and how we did the defensive ranking.
Okay, that's fair. That's what we think about their defense. Not much else to it. Pretty much everything Lewis said I agree with. I would say, again, with Chris Bryant, it's more of a we'll see how he can do.
Yeah.
Moving on to their rotation. Their rotation, we gave it a 6.1 out of 10, which, again, I think is it's a pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it would be good if they did not play in the most hitter-friendly ballpark in the league. It would be good.
Exactly. Their projected rotation: German Marquez, Kyle Freeland, Jose Urena, Austin Gomber, and Connor Siebold. Not a great rotation. I mean, yes, you have a guy like Jason Dominguez. Oh my God. Yes, you have a guy like German Marquez who is good, and the ERA, yes, is probably inflated because he plays in Coors Field.
Yeah.
Kyle Freeland, same thing. He's a good pitcher, but plays in Coors Field. I do think that these guys aren't all-star guys anyway, regardless of what team they play on. So I don't think it's anything too special, but it is certainly a good rotation when you look at the top four. Connor Siebold, I don't know too much about him. I can't imagine he is the cream of the crop, though. So last year in the majors, he pitched in 5 games, 18 and a third innings pitched, and had an 11.29 ERA. So we'll see how that turns out for them. But it's a very not amazing rotation, so we'll see.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. Let me just say something just to touch a little bit more. So German Marquez, I think very clearly the starting pitcher number 1 for the Rockies this upcoming season. He last season had a 4.95, basically a 5 ERA. Just to let people know that in German Marquez's entire career, he's pitched 87 games on the road and has had a 3.5 ERA. So it is really, the Coors effect does affect pitchers just as much as it affects hitters. It just more negatively affects pitchers. So definitely take that into account when you think about how we ranked their rotation.
Yeah. Same with their bullpen, which we're going to get to. We gave them a 5.4 out of 10 on their bullpen. I'm going to be honest, nothing special in their bullpen. I mean, Daniel Bard is good, but he's old now. Danielson Lamet can be good, but again, we'll have to see. I don't think there's anything crazy in their bullpen. So.
No, Lucas Gilbreth is the one that stands out to me. I think that he has the ability to be good. It's just a matter of if he will be good or not. You know, that's the one that I look at and think about. But besides that, again, 5.4 because it's very middle of the road. Nothing crazy, but nothing that's going to say this team sucks.
I agree. Very quick on the bullpen there. It's nothing crazy. Yeah. Next up, we got coaching. We gave him a 6 out of 10. Bud Black, pretty good coach. He doesn't have the utilities to show how good of a coach he can be, but still a very good coach. Yeah, so 6 out of 10 on there. And then we have the energy, which we gave a 4 out of 10.
We did.
I think there are a lot of guys on this team, but when I look at the guys on this team, I don't think, hey, these guys bring a lot of energy. I mean, yes, Chris Bryant brings energy.
Ryan McMahon and CJ Cron hitting back-to-back home runs is energy.
It's energy, but, I feel like I never would, when I think of them,
I don't think of, pure emotion, screaming, celebrating.
No.
That's just not how I think of it. So that's kind of what drove me away from giving them a higher score on energy. Yeah. But 4 out of 10.
I think that we could say we gave them 1 point for each one of their 4 players that I think we're collectively agreeing we're high on. Chris Bryant, Ryan McMahon, CJ Cron, and Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's about it.
But yeah, that's our scoring. Their total score was 38.6 out of the possible 70, which was 29th in baseball and 15th in the National League. So now we'll move on to the fun parts. The team MVPs for this season. Who do you think their team MVP as a hitter will be this season?
I'm going to go CJ Cron. I think I'm going to ride with CJ Cron.
You're stealing my pick. I'm also going to go with CJ Cron.
Well, then tell you what, I'll go with Ryan McMahon. They can be 1A, 1B type of thing.
I disagree. I think CJ Cron will be better than Ryan McMahon.
All right,
I think it'll be pretty significant too. So
I'm
going to go with CJ Cron, yeah. And then their MVP as a pitcher, who do you think?
MVP as a pitcher, I'm going to go with Kyle Freeland. I think that he will be their best pitcher by the end of the year. Not to take anything off of German Marquez. I just think that Kyle Freeland has more stuff, more ability, and being a lefty, you can get out those powerful lefty bats in the very dominant NL West easier.
Okay. I'm going to go with... It's tough. I'm going to go with Danielson Lamet.
Okay.
Just because. I'm going to go with a reliever. I think maybe he'll be one of those relievers that's every time he comes in. I mean, he hasn't
you look back and you're like, wow, he hasn't got a run scored off him in a while. So I think that's kind of what we'll see.
Fair enough. That's fair. I like the idea of it. The Rockies, they're fun to watch. They will be fun to watch for sure. And if you wanted to if I could quickly talk about some rookies again.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got your rookie report.
So obviously, Ezekiel Tovar is the guy that I think everybody is very consistently high upon just because he will be starting. Probably opening day for them at shortstop. But another guy to watch out for, especially because the Rockies, again, are not in contention. They're probably going to call up some guys quicker. Zach Veen, he's an outfielder. He finished out last season in AA, but I believe at camp they're saying that he's going to be in AAA to start this season, which means that he's one step away. Last season, both in A and AA, he batted .245 with a .724 OPS in 126 games. Well, he was able to steal a lot of bases, 55 bases, while also having 114 hits and 12 homers. Good contact guy. Will play well, especially as an outfielder in Coors Field, and could definitely be a piece that either the Rockies trade away to get somebody, or they call up and he can be part of the future. He's ranked 27th in the MLB prospect rankings and number 2 overall for the Rockies.
I like it. 55 steals is kind of crazy.
Yeah, across 2 separate leagues.
No, that's really good. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Now, we will round out the episode by saying
I'm going to say the 2023 Rockies will be, and you will tell me what place you think they'll be in. Then I'll tell you what place I think they'll be in.
All right.
Sorry.
It's okay.
The 2023 Colorado Rockies will be in
Misery. Hell on earth. And 5th place in the NL West.
Okay. 5th place in the NL West, I would agree. They are definitely the 5th place team in the NL West. That's all we got for the Rockies. We hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys in the next one.
The next one.
Which is currently the Nationals, should be.
Stay tuned.
We'll see you guys then. Peace.